Welcome to the Global Peace Film Festival Lives Online Conversation 2021 Festival Edition. Please join me, Kelly Devine, the Artistic Director, and Nina Strike, the Executive Director, in conversation with the filmmaking team behind the film Khape, which you can see as part of the Global Peace Film Festival, which begins September 21st through September 26th for our limited run of in-person screenings, and then picks up September 27th through October 3rd for our program of streaming and online films. All of the information can be found at peacefilmfest.org. And now let's join Suchita, Sambhav, and Aditya in conversation. Welcome.
Thank you.
So let's start with Sambhav. Please tell us about Khape.
Right. So Khape, first of all, it's based on a real life incident. It's a story about this 9-year-old boy. His name is Ali, and he lives in a remote village in India. And he's the only boy in his village who studies, and sort of his father understands the power of education, and he walks miles to go to the school. All his friends are laborers, and it is his resilience and it's his strive to make a difference among all his other villagers through the power of education. So that's what Khape is all about.
It's a wonderful and inspiring story, beautifully shot. And you mentioned, Sambhav, that it's based on true events. But what attracted you guys to telling this particular story?
So we felt we wanted to tell stories that can make a difference. Stories that would inspire people to better themselves or to make the world a better place to live in. So that's what inspired, that's what attracted us towards the story.
Suchita, can you tell us a bit about your approach in telling this story? Because it's a narrative, it's not a documentary, even though, as Sambhav had mentioned, it is based on an actual person's experience.
Yes, so the film actually had a long journey to begin with. It was, I saw this little story in the year 2010 in a newspaper. I wanted to tell the story. And so I started sort of writing the fictional account of what could possibly would have happened around that time. I also sort of connected with the people associated in real life around that time, wanted to make a documentary. But then that didn't work out. And then I started writing the fiction, and then I started moving around with my script. But funding, so initially it's very different when you go around looking for funds for a script like this, because it does not have mainstream known actors. It's mostly like, you're looking for great actors to be part of this project. And so, my 6 to 7 years long journey in terms of trying to get the film funded, it almost started with, it went on floor tries, with another company, with other co-production, with French co-producers, but everything sort of, and then the filmmaking is a painful journey, so the resilience has to be sort of kept no matter what. And then finally in the year 2018, we went on floor with this set of producers. And, I sort of found the boy, we started training him, we went to the village and we started looking for locations. We went there before the shoot and we sort of stayed there to try and get, the right look and feel of the place. And even there were a lot of teething problems in terms of the location. So we went through a lot of hurdles, whatever possibly could have gone wrong. And then, when you're making a film, you have to be open in terms of you don't know what's going to come next. So the director has to know that what are the things that you can quickly shift to not hassle the production and to see that the production goes smoothly. Because directors can start throwing tantrums. No, this is what I want, and I can't shoot without this. This location I want. But because we were on a very small, tight budget, that we had a very niche team, and we had little monies to sort of go through the production. So I had to keep my shoot, my style, my approach very, very handy, so I can sort of quickly shift from one location to the other without the production suffering at any cost. So we had a good roller coaster ride trying to make this film.
Aditya, since Suchita mentioned the production element to it, what attracted you to this story and to the challenges that it might have presented, and what do you see as the importance of getting this story out?
When ironically, when Suchita first approached me with the film, she only wanted me to act in the film, and Sambhav and me and our other cousin, we were not producing the film first because there were other producers, and the earlier producers fell out, and I and Sambhav really got attached to the script, and we really wanted to do the script. So I told Suchita that your earlier producers have had a fallout with you, but we would like to produce the film instead. And so it was really good. And what attracted us to the script was that it was a really niche subject, a subject which had not been explored before. We've shot this film in a regional language. It's not a Hindi language film, which Bollywood usually shoots on. It's a regional language called Gujarati, Kutchi. So Gujarat is a state in India. It's in the western side of India, and the trend in Gujarati films even today is comedy. Comedy films work really well in Gujarat, but we didn't want to go for the run of the mill subjects which are already happening. We wanted to do something different. We wanted to completely do a different kind of cinema, which is realistic, which sends out a strong message to the audience. And this is what attracted Sambhav and me to do the film. And I told Suchita that instead of shooting it in Hindi, why don't we shoot it in Gujarati and shift the whole, the whole story, which is set in the mainland, switch it to Gujarat, and we should shoot it here in Kutch. And it worked really well for us. And this Khape means I want. It sends out a strong message of the importance of education. There are other little very strong messages in the film on recycling of garbage. There is a message on anti-alcoholism. There is a strong message on child marriage. So there are a lot of messages in the film, and that's why we did this film, because we wanted to make a difference. And not only I acted in the film as Ali's father, but I also produced the film for. And Suchita is a very dear friend of mine since a long time. So Sambhav, me, and Siddhant, we decided to produce this film.
Well, I think anyone who watches the film will see what I had seen, that the love and the dedication that you just described really shine through in the film. So people will be rewarded by watching Khape. And yes. Aditya and then Suchita, you both had touched on precisely why we program a film like Khape for the Global Peace Film Festival, that we are interested in showing our audience not just other perspectives, but also models for positive change, so that we can make the world a more just and peaceful place. So maybe first Aditya and then Suchita, Could you speak a bit about that motivation in telling this story and bringing it to audiences?
Yes, see, I'll lots and even today, as you know, there are lots and lots of remote villages in India which do not have schools, and education is very, very important. And we as in our team in Suchita and Flaming Fire Productions, we really wish that this film reaches out to everybody, not only in India but all over the world, with the message that education is really, really important, and that's the way forward. And uh, yes, basically, we just like this film to reach out to everybody in India, and because it, I mean, the importance of education is needed all around the world, and there is a lack of it in lot of countries.
Indeed. Sucheta?
For me, the motivation, Kelly, would be that, his main motivation was that, one person can bring a change in the world. You do not have to wait for anybody else. So if one person stands and is determined to say that I'm going to bring a change no matter what, you can transform the whole region, the whole country, in fact, the whole world, because people are going to ultimately join you for your conviction. So for me, this really motivated me from the real boy who actually did that, with no resources, with everybody standing against him and saying, no, we don't need education here. Why do we need education? We just have no money to fill our own stomach. What will education do? So one boy understanding that fact that, I need education because his father stood for him, saying, I need to bring education because he understands the value at the age of 9. My friends need to go to school and get educated. And then facing all the obstacles, saying that the village is so poor. I mean, they're not interested. And then bringing a change and saying that, I have brought something to this village that I can stand for. Now the boy has 300 students, who are getting free education. So it's a motivation for all of us, each one of us, to say that, I can bring a change no matter what.
So that's wonderful, and that's a great message. Suchita, how can our audiences support this film and this work?
I think we have made the film with with a lot of love and a lot of affection, because it's our first film. All our first film was my first film as a director, my producer's first film in production. I think this film is very close to us, and I think it should reach as many people as possible so that we can sort of bring about the spirit in each one of us, that one, we can stand up and bring a change no matter what. And second is that, education can bring a lot of change. We currently support Indian villages, like Aditya pointed out. We do not have education here. We are very, 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 very poor if we start going away from Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai cities. If we go into the interiors, the situation is very bad. It's not what is shown on social media. So we definitely need a lot of support when it comes to these small villages, helping these little villages grow. In fact, the actors in the film, most of them were taken from the little villages as well, as proud, and they have tremendous potential. It's just that they don't have the opportunity.
And finally, Sambhav, what's next for you? And then both the other two can also jump in on that answer.
For Flaming Pie Pictures, Khape right now is the priority. So we are trying to sort of take it as forward as we can, show it to as many people as we can. And at the same time, we are looking at scripts, looking at other ideas, but we haven't really sort of solidified anything. But I'm sure our next film will also hopefully be, as inspiring as Khape is. And, a film that hopefully will break barriers as Khape is doing right now. So yeah, that's from Flaming Pie Pictures.
Suchita, do you want to say something quickly about what's next for you?
Actually, I'm already on the post of my next film. It's happening in US, and we're about to sort of start circulating it the festival. So I'm excited about that one as well. So because of the pandemic, both of them are like coming up together now. So, yeah.
Wonderful. And Aditya, how about you?
Yeah, like Sambhav said, Sambhav and me we are partners in Flaming Pie Pictures. So I second him, and we are looking for scripts, and we are reading some scripts, and hopefully by early next year, mid next year, we should lock a script and start shooting.
Wonderful.
Well, we will definitely keep an eye open for all of your next projects. And anyone who would like to find out more information about Flaming Pie Pictures, be sure to check out flamingpiepictures.com. And again, please go to the Global Peace Film Festival website, peacefilmfest.org, and follow us on our social media channels for all the information regarding this year's festival. And thank you again for joining us in this wonderful conversation and for checking out Khape at the Global Peace Film Festival. We will see you at the next Glow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.